Hello, you're fine. This is a part 2 video of Unit 9, Lesson 1. So, learner's book with page number 126 to 127 and activity book with page number 100 to 101. So, in activity 6, you can read page number 127. Now, read the text and check your answers to activity 5. So, here are this food chain. Look, the grass is eaten by the rat is eaten by the snake, and snake is eaten by the falcon. This is called a food chain. Each person is dependent on each one. Okay, so I'm going to read now. Listen. A food chain shows us how living things get their food, who eats who. A food chain always starts with the plant, which is called a producer. So always a food chain is dependent on the plants. What is producer? Because it makes its own food. So the plants make its own food from the energy it gets from sun. So the plants, I think you have read everything in science. Consumers are the next link, and there are usually 3 levels. The first group are primary consumers, herbivorous. Herbivorous, they eat only the plants, such as rabbit or mouse, which only eat plants. That is called herbivorous. The second group are secondary consumers, which are carnivores. They eat the primary consumers. The carnivore means they eat only flesh. Okay, they don't eat veg or no plant. They eat only the animals. Tertiary consumer is usually a larger number which eats the smaller animals. So it's another. There are 3 kinds of primary consumers, secondary consumers. So these are the 2 types of animals. Usually larger animals which eat the smaller animals. They eat the smaller animals. They also consumes consumers called omnivorous. They eat plants and they eat animals. We eat plants and meat. They can be secondary or tertiary consumers. Can you think of an example of one? Yes, human, of course. So what are the animals you think that can eat plants and animals both? What are the other animals you think it's come to in your mind? Okay, so let's go to next. So activity 7 order, learner's book page number 127. You have to order these animals what they are depending on. What eats what? Okay, you need to arrange in the correct order. So once you can do it, check your answer in the next slide. So now open your activity book page number 100, vocabulary. Look at the picture, write herbivorous, carnivorous or omnivorous. So you need to write down which is herbivorous, which is omnivorous and which is carnivorous. You need to write down. You can see there are, you can see here there are letters on the pictures. You can see this is A here and this is B here. If you can see this one, so you need to write down which animal it is. It is whether they eat only grass, they eat both the grass and flesh, or they eat only on the flesh, only the animal. So you need to write down here. If it is the number 1, what do you think A picture is? A is bird. Yes. So what kind of animal it is? Omnivorous, herbivorous or carnivorous? You will write here bird. Okay, now you're going to write, and what kind of animal it is? It is omnivorous. You're right. So you'll write omnivorous. O-M-N-I-V-O-R-O-U-S. So you can see now. So this is how you write for each picture. You need to write what it is and you need to explain what kind of animal it is. Herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous. Once you finish, check your answer in the next slide. Now again activity book page number 100. Look at the picture again and match the words. So now you have to look at again and match to the correct words. Okay. So what is A? Plant. It is a tertiary consumer, secondary consumer, producer or primary consumer. You're right. It is a producer. So you can write here 1. So once you finish, please check your answer in the next slide. Now activity 8. Choose. Learner's book page number 127. Choose one of the habitats from activity 2 and draw a diagram of a food chain. Label each part with the words in blue from the text. So I want you to do this one in your copybook or notebook. Choose one of the habitat. Choose one of the any animal. Okay. Draw a diagram of a food chain. You need to draw a diagram of food chain. Plant like rat, like snake. Then you need to draw a food chain. Label each part. You need to label whether it's a primary, it's a producer, primary consumer, it is a tertiary consumer. So you need to label it is herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous. You can see the blue words in page number 127. You can see that it's a producer. You need to mention what kind of animal it is, whether it is a primary, whether it is a producer, okay, what kind of animal it is. So you need to do in the copybook and send me the picture in the class dojo. Now open your activity book, page number 100. Draw a food chain in your note using the animal from the picture. Activity 1. Use the example of activity 6 on page number 127. So it's the same thing. So no need to repeat, do only one activity. This also you need to draw a food chain again, okay? Now activity book, page number 101. Read the text, label the ocean food chains with the words in the bold from the text. So you need to label the food chain, ocean food chain. Now in the sea, how the fish are dependent on each other. Okay, you need to label the food chains now here. So there is already words here. So in this you're going to label the food chains. What it is dependent on, like A. What is A? Plankton. B is jellyfish. And C is a fish. D is a shark. You know how it is, like jellyfish. C is called as minnows, and D is shark. So you need to write down here. So I'm going to read now. So according to that, you need to write how it is depending on each other. A, B, C, D. You need to write it down here. So let's find out what eats what in the ocean. As with any food chain, the marine food chains begins with plants such as plankton. So this plant is called plankton. A powerful food full of vitamin, proteins and minerals. They are producer because they make their own food using energy from the sun. The next link are small floating animals such as jellyfish and starfish, which eat the plankton. So jellyfish and starfish, they eat plankton. They are called primary consumers. The third link in the food chain are small fish that are very common in the ocean such as minnows. So they eat jellyfish and starfish, they are called minnows, and which eat the small floating animals. They are called secondary consumers. So they eat animal, they depending on the animals, okay, they eat animals. Finally, the tertiary consumer, they eat both flesh and plants, such as tuna or small sharks, which eat the small ones. It's fish eat fish world. Okay, this is how they dependent in the sea, how they dependent in the food chain. So you need to write the animal name here. So I'm going to show you one example. This is the plankton. Okay, plankton. So what kind of animal this is? A producer. So you need to write down producer. Sorry, I can't write it properly, so you can understand, okay? So you can do it better. So this is how you need to write for B, C and D. So if I want to check the answer, you can check the answer in the next. Now activity book again, page number 101. Draw a food chain in notebook for one of this habitats. So you're going to choose one of the habitat or from the forest or from Antarctica, savanna, or mountain, or freshwater, ocean, desert. You can choose one of this and you need to write on your copybook about the food chains, how they depend. They will depend on the plant, then they're eaten by this. You know, you need to draw the food chain and in your copy notebook, and you can get the even help from the internet if you want, and send me on the class dojo. And let's get back to the learner's book now. Activity 9, talking game. So learner's book, page number 127. What is it? Take turns to guess the animal. Your partner can ask yes no questions. This one I have done better in the classroom, so we'll skip this. So once you finish, please try to send all me clear pictures on the class dojo, so I can check it and give you thumbs up and the marks for it. Thank you so much once again. If you have any doubt, you can contact me on the class dojo or email to me. Thank you so much.